You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all fucking day. Oh, yeah.
Do you mean real scary stories? Because I got
real ones.
I
don't know if we should cut it now so we can put it out, or want to just keep going with the time.
Let's just keep going. 'Cause
Okay.
I got a good one. Well, do you want to go first or second?
I have a couple scary stories of different levels of scary.
I don't have like I'm about to die scary, but I
Okay.
have.
Well, they're scary like it's scary like you think that a monster's after you, and then they're scared like oh, dude, what the like you just scared the shit out of me.
All right, you go first. I'll tell
Okay.
my story second.
Fuck, you just made me.
All right, I'll go
Yeah,
first.
you go first.
So my parents used to have a house in upstate New York. It
Okay.
was in the middle of nowhere. Your cousin's been there before, multiple times. Like when I say the middle of nowhere, I mean like you're on a dirt road for a couple of miles before you even get to it. It's at the top of a hill. It was an old farmhouse, and it's pretty cool during the day, but at night it can be. I mean, it can scare you if you let it scare you. And people had always had stories like, oh, I thought I saw someone like out of the corner of my eye, or like I thought I heard something. And like everyone's always taken all those with a grain of salt because it's just people playing head tricks with themselves for the most part.
Okay.
For the most part, I think.
Oh,
But
shit. Apologies.
no worries. But so there was this one time we went up there for a spring break back when I was in college, and there was the house, there was the driveway, and at the end of the driveway there was a barn. When we went up for spring break, it was me and a bunch of other guys, and we made this big show this one time where we were chopping wood in the driveway. It was a dirt driveway, and but we were just like horsing around, like we weren't doing anything real. So when we were prepping to leave, I wanted to leave in a nice condition, so I was taking the wood from in front of the barn to the wood pile on the side of the barn. So I'm walking around, and as I'm doing it, my car horn honks. Someone honks my horn, goes dun 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 dun. I look, I can't see anyone because there was glare on my windshield, so I couldn't see who was inside of it. So I put the wood down. I come back. There's no one in my car at the moment, so I go to the house, and the door opens, and my buddy goes, "We're coming." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "We're coming." I'm like, "Did you honk the horn?" He goes, "No." I'm like, okay. Did so-and-so honk the horn? And like we went through everyone, and no one admitted it. And I would say, and like I'm a very rational person, so I went through everything. I would say that they were playing a prank on me, except two things. One, my friends aren't known for being patient. There was no payoff. There was no like, ha ha ha, we got you.
Yeah.
Like, no one's ever admitted it. Two, there was one guy there. It was his first time being up there, and we got there at like midnight a couple days before, and because of that, he was petrified. He spent the entire trip absolutely fucking scared out of his mind, and he was basically begging me. He's like, "Please tell me you honked the horn." He's like, "Everyone was with me. Please tell me you honked the horn." So it couldn't have been any of them. Couldn't have been anyone on the street because it's an old dirt road. I would have heard a car.
Yeah.
It's not like the road was right there. I would have heard a car.
Yeah.
So I'm out of possible other explanations other than something supernatural. So I go home. I'm still young. I'm living with my parents. I tell my parents this story, and my dad goes, "Oh, that was the other thing." I'm like, maybe I hit the keys in my pocket and
Yeah.
I hit the horn. My buddy goes, to a tune. It literally went like it dun 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 dun.
Probably.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But so he's like, to a tune. I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. It couldn't have been on accident. It couldn't have been on accident. So I go home and I tell my dad that story, and he goes, "What was the tune?" I go, dun 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 dun. He goes, "Oh, that's really funny." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "When a couple weekends ago when we were up there with your aunt, she comes downstairs one morning and looks at me and says, 'Very funny, Jeff.'" And I go, "What?" She's like, "You were knocking on the wall all night long." He goes, "No, I wasn't." She's like, "Oh, really?" Dun 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 dun. She heard the same exact thing. She heard a knock on the wall so loudly that she thought that my father,
It was a knock, not a horn.
it was a knock. So the main bedroom is downstairs where my parents normally stayed, and their guest bedrooms are upstairs. So my parents were right below where my aunt and uncle were staying. So she thought that he was knocking on the wall, dun 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 dun, throughout the night to scare them. And he's like, I did not do that. So not only did that happen, it was the same exact tune.
You definitely burned this house to the ground, right?
My parents have since sold it. Not for that reason. We weren't actually scared of anything.
How quickly after did the new people get murdered?
Well, you want to add a layer to that? There was a girl who hung herself in that basement.
Yeah, she's knocking and honking.
Yeah. She's knocking and honking.
Yeah, fuck that. I don't need to buy no house where nobody did that.
So now whenever we
Right.
hear these stories of people saying, like, yeah, we saw shit, we're like, oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not big into believing or anything like that.
Yeah.
My whole thing is, why am I going to fuck with it? I don't know if it's there or not, but if it is off some weird chance, why do I want to piss it off? I
Thank
don't
God.
wanna.
Thank God we were getting ready to leave. Like, we were, like, within 20 minutes of leaving.
I'd have just left. I'd have just left. I'd been like, you know what? I'll stay in my car next to the McDonald's where the lights are always on.
We'll leave the
Okay.
light on for you.
Yeah.
Was that Motel 6?
Yeah.
All right. You're up.
Okay, so I have a story where I was in fear for my life when I was a child.
Okay.
I have a story where I basically accepted my death, which I think I've told you already.
That's a little disheartening.
Well, it's accepted in a weird way. Yeah, I did that before, and I had one more that was similar. Yours made me think of it, but I can't remember what it was. But it was similar, like, oh shit, like something like that weird stuff. So the first one, which you've heard before,
Okay.
is I was laying in bed sleeping. Oh, I remember what it was now. Let me just write it down.
Stay tuned, everybody. While we have this little break, as Andy's writing down a little note, don't forget, after this, go to brodownpro.com for all your Brodown Pro gear. We have really cool-ish out there, such as t-shirts, hoodies, drawstring bags, cell phone cases, mugs, yada, yada, yada. We're also coming out with new stuff soon, such as V-neck shirts.
Oh shit, yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are, son.
That's right, ladies. V-neck shirts. That's right, fellas.
For the gentlemen, too. Don't
Yeah.
forget the gentlemen. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so first one, we have, I'm laying in bed, I'm dreaming. I don't normally dream.
Okay.
And I think you've heard this one before.
Yeah.
It's definitely creepy.
I know
so,
where you're going, but yeah.
Yeah.
Gross.
laying in bed, dreaming, and I'm dreaming of something, I get into a fight or something bad happens where somebody's in front of me having an altercation. And it's one of those weird things where it's like, well, you're in a fight and you're in a room, but you're not in a room and you're not in a fight.
Yeah.
Kind of weird thing. It's like everything's going to shit, but everyone's calmly okay with it.
Okay.
So in the middle of the argument, it's like not where the fights where like you punch someone and they're just like, ugh. It was like he took out a knife and he was like real creepily slow, and I just like looked at it,
Oh.
and it went in my stomach, and I had that like, why would you do that?
Oh.
Like, why would you do that? And he took it out, and I just held my stomach like, oh no, fuck, like somebody stabbed. Like, wasn't concerned he was gonna stab me again. It was like, this is gonna be bad. Like, I'm gonna die maybe. So I woke up holding my stomach.
Okay.
On my back. I'm holding my stomach like kind of tight, like you're trying to keep pressure on a wound.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% convinced that I was just stabbed, but I'm not even close to the same room or anything that I was in the dream, but I'm so out of it because I have horrible sleep apnea that I'm convinced that I was just stabbed, but I'm awkwardly calm with it. I'm like, oh no. And I'm laying in bed and I'm like, okay, you got to get up and you got to find like a phone to call the police to get to go to the hospital. And I can feel like some kind of wet stuff in my hands. And I'm like, fuck. All right, just get up. So I lean up and like there's no pain, but like I'm feeling like my hands are sweaty and I'm feeling like some wet, something like not good. So I get up and there's like a little light from either like a night light or an air filter or something that's kind of shining. And I'm walking on my tile floor. I just have my boxers on. I'm walking, and I look down to see if there's blood because I can kind of see my stomach now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, huh. And I open up my hands. There's a fucking like 4-inch creepy crawler tangled up in my stomach hair. And I'm just like, I'm like, oh, fuck. Immediately become more scared than I was stabbed. I start like smacking like my hands like very tired, but still like and it just falls into the darkness because I can't see my feet, and I start doing like the geriatric shuffle back to my bed, like gotta get off the floor. It's crawling around here somewhere. And I get on the bed, but part of me still thinks I'm stabbed, so I'm still kind of have that lingering around in my dumb head, and I'm like, oh no. And then it comes to me like, oh, you didn't get stabbed. You had a bug crawling on you, and your brain was trying to wake you up, and you weren't waking up because you have sleep apnea. So it's like, how do we get this dumb motherfucker to realize he's got a bug on his stomach? They're like, let's stab him. Let's stab him and make him think he's going to die.
It's funny because it's infinitely better than waking up to actually having a stab wound. But
Yes.
in some weird way, it's 10,000 times worse.
Yeah. I was lucky I didn't have a knife wound. Yeah. So story number dose was one where I was actually nervous that things were going to go very, very badly. And it was heightened by the fact that there was a couple factors that led to me being way more nervous than I should have been. Okay, so this is back when I was in college.
Okay.
I was staying over at my girlfriend at the time's house. She lived with her parents. They had this huge fucking mansion, right? It's like a 5 or 6 bedroom place, like gigantic.
Yeah.
And we're in the upstairs, and we're both sleeping, dead asleep. And her parents are away on some vacation for like a week or something like that, so they're not home.
Okay.
So she wakes me up in the middle of the night because I don't wake up for shit. And she's like, someone's downstairs.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, what? She's like, someone's downstairs. Someone's downstairs. And I'm like, maybe it's your parents. She's like, they're on vacation, remember? And I'm like, oh, fuck. Now, at the time, I didn't have any money, so I didn't have glasses. I wear contacts. My vision is horrific. And the only glasses I had were ones that, like Morpheus used to wear in The Matrix.
Yeah.
You just put them there, except they weren't made that way. So it was just like without the arms. I only kept them by my bed because they would only stay on my face for about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So I have no glasses. I can't see anything. I'm in a house that I don't really know that well. I don't know where all the squeaks are in the floors. So all this stuff is running through my head. You know how my brain kind of works at this point.
Yeah, you're
so
a weird person.
I'm analyzing all the factors here. So I get up. I'm like, get in the closet. She has like a huge walk-in closet in the bathroom. So I get up, go in the closet. I'm like, call 911 because I don't know who's downstairs.
Yeah.
So I go over to the door and I'm like, open the door. I listen, and there's fucking people downstairs. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's like 2 a.m. I'm like, they're not supposed to be here. So I go in the closet and I'm like, are you calling the cops? And she's like, should I do it now? I'm like, yes, call the cops right now. Like, what the fuck? So she calls the cops. I'm looking on her counter like this. I can't see shit. I'm looking for a weapon.
Yeah.
There's no weapon. Nothing even resembling a weapon. The closest thing I can find to a weapon, granted I got about 5 inches in front of my face that I can see, is a big pen. Right? So I'm like, this is it.
This is it. Yeah.
This is what I got. Because my vision is so bad that I can't even get into a fist fight properly.
Yeah.
So I got the pen and I'm walking over to the door and she's on the phone with 911. And I'm like, so she's on the phone and 911, I can hear them. They go, 911, what's your emergency? She's like, hello? There's people in my house. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Why would you do that?
Shut up.
Why would you?
Like, have you never seen any movie
That was
where there's people in your house?
That was my first thought. If I was watching this as a movie, I would throw up my arms and say, now I hope you die.
Yeah, except for me. Yeah. So she was way louder than she would have been if she was answering the phone normally. So now I'm like, okay, so that's the extra factors. Numero uno, I can't see. Numero dos, I'm in a house I don't know. I don't know how to walk around it quietly. I don't know where all the egress spots are and everything like that.
Egress, word of the day.
Yeah. Number 3, my weapon of choice is a Bic pen. Number 4, She just yelled basically in the house. So now they probably know where we are or that there's other people in the house.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, great. I can now not wait for them to come up here because now I'm cornered in the room. I have to go downstairs and I have to do something about this because I'm not going to get taken out on their terms. I'm getting on mine. So I walk over. I'm creeping over to the stairs. There's a huge, long, like staircase. It's very steep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do I go down the stairs and risk? Because now it's like if they have a gun or whatever, it's like I got 20 some feet to cover before I can get to them if they happen to walk around the corner because the kitchen's there.
Yeah.
And that's where they are. And I'm like, if I can get down to the bottom, I could probably look in the reflection of the window and see who's in here and see how many there are. So, but I can't see. So I'm like, fuck it.
My heart's pounding just
Yeah,
listening
I'm
to
like,
this.
fuck it. I'm going downstairs. I'm like, I'm stabbing. I'm like telling myself in my head because like everyone thinks, oh yeah, I'd fucking do. Like when you actually have to make a choice in your head before you do it, like I'm gonna stab someone with a pen, a tool that I use for education my whole life. I have to stab someone with this now. So I'm like, you go down there and you just stick it in as hard and quickly as you can. So I'm walking down the stairs. I'm like one step, trying not to like testing it out, squeaking it a little bit, make sure it's not making any noise. I got socks on so I can slide a little bit. Going down. I get like a third of the way down, and I hear her come from behind. And I'm like, I look at her like, what are you doing? Like, what? And she just goes, Mom? In my head, I'm like, dude, are you trying to get us killed? Her parents got home like 4 days early from the trip. What do you think my immediate thought was?
Stab him anyway.
My immediate thought was I was going to turn on the corner, not recognize her mom or her stepdad because I don't have my glasses on, and I'm going to stab them with a fucking pen. I dropped the pen and I put my hands over my mouth like, holy shit, because I'm like, I would have stabbed him. Like if I turn the corner and someone's there, knife in the or throat region because I can't see. So I'm just like, dude, like, how do you not know your parents coming home early? Like, why didn't they tell you, hey, we're going to bust in the house? I mean, it's granted it's their house.
It's their house, but still.
But I'm like, holy shit. Like, I got so scared that I almost stabbed one of her parents with a fucking pen. Like, I was 15 feet away from doing it. It was not cool. I was scared for two different reasons.
And that excuse would not hold up in court.
No.
They would not be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they got money. You're poor as fuck. Yeah. Numero 3 story, which is this is an oldie but a goodie. You don't know this one.
I don't know the last one either.
So this was one of the first times that I thought I was going to die as a child. So we're up in Vermont, and you know how my family operates. We tend to do things by ourselves instead of, calling someone to do the roof. We put the roof on instead of doing this.
You're very hands-on.
Very hands-on. That goes across the board, right? So using four-wheelers, quads, ATVs, whatever, they have the carts that you pull behind them. Yeah. Well, my dad made them. He made one out of a 50-gallon barrel, 55-gallon drum. He cut it in half. He put styrofoam insulation for pipe on the top so he didn't get cut, and he welded a chassis on it with wheels. No shocks. So it's a single axle, straight axle. There's no shocks on it.
Yeah.
So they're very, rigid. Yeah. So he's pulling us behind this Honda 125, and my dad, like, always just trying to, like, hey, like, let's make things interesting. Yeah. He would always drive us on the dirt road up there. And the dirt roads in Vermont, especially where I live up there, it's like one side is just a huge mountain. And when you have mountains, you also have valleys. So mountain on this side, there's a valley on the other side because the road is made to go around it. So this side you have like a 50-foot straight up, and this side you have like a 50-foot straight down, like pretty steep angle. So he would, for fun, he would just be like, whoa, and just always drive like 3 inches from the ledge and be like, hey, what happens if you fall? So
let me guess, you found out.
He would do this all the time for years without incident because, we're not going like super fast and all that. Well, the one time we were coming back from the top of the hill, and this, the road up there is pretty long, and we're coming back, and he's doing the same thing, like fishtailing and going near the edge of the hill. And me and my brother in the back, we're like, I think I'm like 5 or 6, and my brother's 4 years older, so
Like
you do the
10-ish.
math. Yeah, sure. So we're in the back, and I might have even been like a little younger. I don't know. And we're in the back, and he's going and fishtailing, and all of a sudden, fucking hitch comes off. The hitch comes off, and we turn, and the trailer just starts barrel rolling down the mountain with us in it.
Oh.
So he's going, probably like 20 miles an hour, give or take 5, 8 miles an hour. The hitch comes off, like basically like turns like this, and we start rolling in the barrel down the mountain. We probably went down anywhere from, when you're a kid, your perception's a little different than what you think. It seemed like a mile. It was probably closer to like 50 feet.
Yeah.
30 to 50 feet. So we're rolling inside of this thing. Like there's tree and rocks and tree branches, and it's an open top. So when the bottom's hitting, that's fine, but then we are the bottom.
Yeah.
So when it finally hits, it smashes sideways up against this tree with the bottom facing down, and we rock it out of the bottom of the barrel because it's basically like the barrel's rolling, and then it hits and stops dead, and we get launched out of the barrel, and my face hits the ground face first, and my mouth is wide open. So I hit the ground like this, and all the loose dirt and leaves goes right in my throat, like packs in my throat.
Dude, the story just keeps getting worse.
I know. So I hit the ground, and now my eyes are full of dirt and leaves. My mouth, my nose is plugged up. I sit up like this, and I can't even push my head down because my mouth is so full of junk. So I start going like this, like I can't breathe. Like I can't breathe now. And to not breathe as an adult is scary. When you're a kid, it's like
horrifying.
It's like one of the 3 things I knew how to do is breathe. So I remember there was a stick in my mouth, and I grabbed the stick and I pulled it, and it like broke up some of the dirt, and I just remember like going like and just all shit was coming out of my mouth. That I remember my brother like getting up and looking at me scared, which was not good. Like if he's scared looking at me, that means something's wrong. And my dad charging like a gazelle down this hill like Usain Bolt, just as fast as he could, terrified.
The sudden dad strength.
Like I've never seen my dad terrified. He was like, are you like, please be okay, please be okay. So he gets down there, and he's like looking for like a bone sticking out or something, and he sees me like covered, and we all did that like. Okay. And so once it was kind of established, like, no one's gonna die, my dad was like, please don't tell your mom. Please don't tell your mother. Like, he was like, just please don't tell your mom. We get to the house. We run to the front door. We blast open the front door. Mom, guess what happened? It was so cool. And my dad's just like went right in the basement like, fuck. Fucking little rats.
He probably went down there like, well, I'm getting a divorce.
Oh, dude.
That's it.
Yeah. My mom was like, really? Yeah, it wasn't good.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, dude.
Yeah. I have too many of those stories. We almost died doing normal things.
We almost died doing normal things.
Yeah.
That is absolutely fucking terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
that's it.
Those were a bunch of our stories and a bunch of our movies. I think this might be the longest podcast we've ever shot.
This is. We might have to break this up into two segments.
We might break this up into 2 segments. Tell us your favorite scary story or scary. Just tell us something.
Yeah, tell us some shit. Like, what stories you guys have where you almost died as a kid? Like, kind of lighthearted. We don't want like any. I mean,
don't tell us about any actual deaths. Tell us about the almost.
Yeah, the funny ones. The ones that'll give you a chuckle. Is keep it light. Keep it light.
Yeah.
Keep it light.
Yeah.
Okay.
Until next time, guys. Peace.
Yeah.
listening to Bro Down Podcast all